Okay, I am an anxiety driver and I have to get my car all set up and ready for when we go to Butlins for our annual holiday. So hi, my name is Rachel. I am a solo mum to one and my son and I are going to Butlins, Bognor, Regis for our yearly holiday. We have been there last year, and the year before that we went to Minehead. I did record last year's video, so if you'd like to watch that, I will link it in the description box below for you. But I just want to show you everything that I do to get ready for a 2.5-hour trip with my son to Butlins when I have huge anxiety driving anywhere. So this is a big trip for me. I'm really scared, but as long as I got my car ready, at least that's one more thing off my mind. So let me show you what I've got. So before I set off on any big journey like this, I put my car into the garage, which I did a couple of weeks ago. The garage for me is round the corner and my cousin actually runs it. He was very kind to do the checks for free. He checked my tyres, my water, my screen wash, my oil. He just gave the car a quick once over just to check that everything was still in working order and I've got nothing to worry about, because he knows how much I suffer with anxiety. So he did it for free, which was really kind of him. For some reason as well, I always need to clean my car before I go. Does anybody else do that, or is that just me? So at the weekend, my son is with his dad, so I'm going to give the car a good clean inside and out and make sure it looks really nice. I don't know why I do it. Does anybody else do this, or is that just a weird thing that I have? That before I go on a trip, I need to make sure it's clean. So that's something else I'm going to be doing this weekend. Also, my dad has one of those air pressure tyre things. So I'm going to put around my dad's on Friday, and I'm going to ask him just to put some extra air in my tyres to make sure that they're all level and that they're all okay. So I'm going to take my son round to see his grampy, and I'm going to get to see my dad, and he's just going to put some extra air in my tyres to make sure that they're okay, ready for the long drive, because once I park my car on Saturday, I am not driving again until I actually go to Butlins on Monday, so it'll just be sat there. All I've got to do is clean it. And the next thing that I do before I set off is I get my breakdown cover all sorted. Now I've got my breakdown cover already. I renew it every single year, but I always make sure I download their app and it's all up to date. And I also make sure that I print off or I find my documents to take with me, so that for any reason the app's not working or anything like that, I've still got all the numbers and my policy number so I can get in touch with them if I need to. I also print off my insurance documents too, just in case I need them, because if anything, God forbid, was to happen and I need my insurance details, I know I won't remember them, being in panic. So I always have them printed out and in a folder ready for me to take on holiday with me. Obviously I put it in a room nice and safe, and then when I'm going home I put them back out so they're on the front seat of my car if I ever need them. And the final thing that I always make sure that I have as well is I write down a list of emergency numbers, so if anything was to happen, God forbid, touch wood, it's not going to, I've got a list of emergency numbers there. So the first person they will call will be my mum, and then they will call my brother, because my brother's driving down there as well, so that he'll be the best person to call because he's going to be the closest to me. But I always say my mum first, so that if my brother can't be reached by somebody, my mum can keep trying him until she gets hold of him. Then it'll be my dad, and then it'll be my dad's wife. So I'll have all those emergency numbers ready to go. I will also have my ex-husband's number as well, just in case any reason they can't reach any of my family members, they've got my ex-husband's number, or if they need to get my ex-husband's number but they don't know it, then it's already written down for them. So it's just a safety thing that I like to do, just to be on the safe side. I'm sure everything's going to be fine, but I like to be safe. Oh, and one more thing that I do is I download the directions to where I'm going on Google Maps. I do an offline map so that it's not going to use any of my data while I'm driving, so I make sure that I download that the night before and I make sure that it works. I turn it on airplane mode and I make sure the directions can still get through to me, because the last thing I need is to be lost. Even though my brother has said, if you get panicked or you get lost, pull into a service station, give him a call and he will find me, which is really kind of my brother. So that's all the things I do before I even get the car ready. So now let's get the car ready. So the first thing I do is I sort my son out. It's easier to sort out my son and get him settled so I don't have to stress out about him. So I have this little portable DVD player, and yes, I do download films on my tablet from Netflix or Disney or even Prime, but I do always have a DVD player as well. This is a really good one. I got it from Amazon. I will link it in a description box below, but you can lift it up and then you can turn it. So then I can pop it on the back of the headrest, because I've got those straps. Again, I'll link it in the description box below, where you can put a tablet in or you can put a DVD player in, and it just stays on the headrest so he can look directly forward without looking down. Throughout the entire journey, he can look forward at the DVD player. So he's got lots of DVDs from Ninja Turtles to Star Wars to Ninjago. So all he needs to do is pick the DVDs that he wants, and all I need to do is charge this the night before to make sure that it's got a full battery for when we actually travel down there. I do have things on the tablet as well, but I don't really like to use them in the car. I prefer to use a DVD player, and this is only like, I think it's like £40 or something, and it comes in really, really handy. It's got a little remote as well, so he hasn't got to reach over and hit play or stop or pause or anything else. He can use the remote control. So I always take this with me on long journeys. The next thing I have is this carry case here. It's a little box and it's all velcroed. It can come down quite easily, and inside you've got a massive section there, and then you've got 3 sections, and you've got this section just here, and I put this right next to his seat. I know you can get ones that go on the back of the seat, but I don't really want my son reaching over when he's all strapped in or feeling like he can't reach something and then getting a bit stressed out in the back of the car, where this goes right next to his seat, and everything in there that he needs is going to be in there. So I will put his Nintendo Switch in if he wants to play that at any point. He'll have a few little toys in there. He'll have his snacks, he'll have his drinks, he'll have a pack of wet wipes, and he'll have some tissues in there as well. So anything that he needs will go in there. And also the lid does shut up like that as well. So if we have to stop off at a service station for a loo break, I can just put the lid over and nobody can see what's inside of it. I can then obviously take this out when we actually get to the Butlins park and just pop it on the side, and then I can refill it and get it all sorted, ready for the journey back when we come home on Friday. So I always make sure that he has this. I actually bought this in Aldi, and they actually have it in at the moment as well. I think it's around about £7, but they are really good. I bought this about 4 years ago. That long ago. I bought it about 4 years ago. So he has had this a very long time, and it does last a long time as well. Okay, so I wanted to buy a car mount to put my phone in so that I can see like the direction we're going. I can hear Google Maps and all that kind of stuff. And they were like £5 to £10 on Amazon. And I kind of wandered into Primark when I went to the Gloucester Cathedral. If you haven't seen that video, I'll drop it in the description box below. And they had this little mount here that you actually put on the air vent, and it stretches up, and I can just pop my phone on there, and this was £2.50. So I saved myself some money there. But I'm sure you can buy them from Amazon as well. If you wanted a window one or something, you can buy them for about £5 to £10. I'll link a couple in the description box below so you can have a look if you want one. In the drink compartments down by my driver's seat, I don't really put drinks in there, to be honest. I usually just chuck them on the seat. So I usually use them for different things. So I'm going to put some tissues in, and I've also got some extra tissues to put in my son's box, and a packet of wet wipes as well. My son will have one in the back with him, and I will have one in the front with me. If I need it for any reason, then I've got them handy. So apart from the Switch and some toys and the DVD player that my son will have, I always take a pillow and a blanket for my son, and I've also got a pillow and a blanket for me as well, but I use them every day, so I'll be using it on Sunday night and then putting it in the car on Monday. I've always been taught by my dad to take a blanket and pillow on any journey, just in case. I do have some in the car always, but I always take ones that my son feels really comfortable with when we're on longer journeys, but I still have the spare ones in the car as well, so that if he gets cold or If there's anything that goes wrong, he needs a blanket, I've got blankets too. And I've also need to get the foil blankets from my dad's wife because she's got some that she said I could lend. So just in case, I'm going to put the foil blankets in the car as well. Moving on to the front seat, I will be making myself a little box of snacks, and usually more like anxiety food. So dark chocolate, oranges, things like that, apples. I'll have a lot of fruit and veggies, and I will have that dark chocolate there too to help with my anxiety when I'm driving. I will already peel some oranges and put them in a little food tub, and I will clean all my fruit that I want to eat on the way if I want to eat anything. But sometimes when anxiety can get the better of me, a piece of dark chocolate usually can help me. So I'll be packing that in the front seat with me. Also in the front seat with me, I carry this with me. This actually comes with me everywhere. This is in my car all the time. When it gets hot though, I always remove it from my car and I take it back in the car on every journey that I take. But this is my little emergency box. I got the box from B&M for about £4. And inside this box, I do have our Disney DVD because, you know, we need to sing Disney songs. We're going on a Disney cruise next year. So we do have those that we sing on the way to any journey. I always have some paper with a pen and a pencil. Again, if anything was to happen, it's always good to have pads or some paper, pen and pencil to write insurance details down, to write contact details down. My dad always taught me to have this in the car all the time. Again, I've got more wet wipes as well. So if my son spills anything or anything happens, I've got wet wipes. I always carry deodorant, and this is why I always take the box out of the car when it's super hot, because I know this can go off. So there are some things that can make the car explode, which I recently found out, which terrified me. But I always make sure that I carry deodorant with me. If it's super hot in the car and I'm feeling sticky, I can always have a little bit of roll on. I've got 5 packets of tissues in here as well. I always carry bin bags with me too. So when we actually get to Butlins, I will get one of the bin bags. I will empty all the rubbish that my son may have had from eating any snacks that he's had, and I'll put that in a bin on the way down into the park. It's always good to have bin bags in the car when you just have loads of sticky rubbish or things like that. Rather than have a very dirty car, always have a bin bag. I also have cleaning wipes as well. So even though I have the wet wipes for our hands and our face or anything else, I always carry cleaning wipes with me too. Clear up any spillages or clear up anything sticky that might have happened on a journey. If you're traveling with kids, you probably know what I mean. And the final thing that I have in this box that goes everywhere with me is a rag. My dad always taught me to have a rag in the car, sometimes to wipe the windows down, whatever it may need. It's always good to have a rag in the car. That's what my dad says. Always good to have a rag in the car. So that box comes with me everywhere. So I did pull that out the car when I come back from shopping today so that I could show you what I have. And that goes in the front seat. So I have that and my snacks and a few of my bags in there. One thing that I haven't quite got ready yet that I need to charge is my power bank for my phone. So I always have an extra charger to take for my phone. So if the battery runs low, I've always got an extra charger to charge it with. And finally, this is all the safety stuff that I have for the car. So the first thing I do is, obviously I've already talked about that I get the car checked. And then I check that my son's car seat is in there securely and tightly. And that the front seat is as far forward as possible. So that if anything was to happen, he's not going to hit his head on that front seat. So I always pull the passenger seat as far forward as possible so that he's not going to hit his head or anything else on the front seat if anything was to happen. So I always make sure that his car seat is nice and secure before I drive off anywhere. And obviously when I put him in it, I make sure that the seat belts aren't twisted and that he is securely fastened in that seat. I think that's the biggest worry of any parent when we're driving. And then today, this actually only turned up today, and I probably don't need it, but anxiety driver, freaking out, I think I need it. And that is this car safety kit. I bought it on Amazon. I think it was like £18 or something. Again, I'll link everything in the description box below. And I've literally just opened it, so I haven't actually looked at it myself. But it has everything in here that you would need for a car safety. So the first thing in here is this little hammer. I haven't even taken it out of the bags, but I will do, because the last thing you want to be doing is faffing around with bags, isn't it? So this little hammer is obviously if I need it to smash windows open. It's also got a seatbelt cutter. I don't know if you can see just there, it's got a seatbelt cutter as well. I actually have a Rescue Me. Again, this is on Amazon, it's about £8. I think these are extremely important to have on your keyring. You can buy them in all colours or just have one in your car. So this Rescue Me is to be able to smash windows open. So this part here, you just go in the corner of the window, hit it as hard as you can, and it will smash the window open. And then also you can pull it off, it's kind of a little bit stiff, and then you put the seat belt in there and you go up or go down, whichever way you need to go, and it will cut the seatbelt off as well. So if anything was to happen, you can either get out the car or you can take seatbelts off people without panicking. What I also find really useful with this is if nothing happens to you, but you see an accident, then you've got this available in your car to help out where you can. But this kit that I bought from Amazon has one of these in as well. So that's really good. We also have these car fuses too, which is handy. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with it, to be honest. I really need to learn. But I know that I could FaceTime my dad, or I could call my brother and they'll be able to come and help me. Also, I've got my breakdown cover as well. And then this here is one of those triangle things, like the safety reflector things. So if anything was to go wrong, I can just set that up. I don't know how to do that, so I am going to practice on that over the weekend to make sure I know how to set that up. I just think this is so important to make sure, I can't even put it back now. We'll figure it out. It's fine. To have in the car, especially as a woman on my own. I think for men as well, it's always handy to have a safety kit in the car, because you never know when your car's going to break down or something's going to happen. I've got jump leads as well, which is like really handy. I mean, I've never had jump leads in my car, and to be honest, it's probably stupid, but now I've got some jump leads. So if my battery dies when I'm at Butlins, I can ask my brother to help me, or I can get somebody else that could give me a jump or something like that. And the fact that I've got the jump leads is going to be even better. I've got a screwdriver as well, and then I've got these, I think they're toe bands. I think they're like, yeah, I think they're toe bands. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a leaflet in here somewhere. Anyway, I will link it in the description box below so you can have a look through. But there's like 13 things in here. I've got some tape as well. I've got a flashlight, a little flashlight. I need to check that I need to put batteries in that. And then again, we've got emergency blankets here. So some foil emergency blankets. I don't need to borrow them off my dad's wife, which is good. I've got some gloves too, I guess, to do any work. And then we've got a fashionable, it's fashionable, it says even there, it's fashionable windbreaker. So that's going to come in handy. And I've got a high vis vest as well to put on. But what I did buy as well extra is I bought a child's high vis vest too. So it's easy to say that I'm going to have one, but then I've got my little one with me as well. So for him to have one on, it's going to be extra safe. So again, I will link that in the description box below. But I just feel better having this in the car. Some people might think it's stupid and you don't need it and nothing's going to happen. But you just never know. And I just feel safer, and I feel less anxiety and less stress by having this just in the car. It will be in the front seat with me. I think it's the best place. If it's not, let me know where's the best place to put it. And I think I've got everything there. So that is what I do to get my car ready for a long road trip. So first of all, I go and get my car all checked over, the oil, the water, the tyres, everything else. I put air in my tyres before I actually go. I also check the water one more time, and I also fill my car up with petrol, because otherwise no petrol, not going nowhere, right? So I do that. Then I check that my son has everything, so he is nice and settled. Because if you have a settled child or settled children in the car, makes driving a little bit easier. So he's got his box, he'll have his toys which he'll pick out, books, some kind of activity. He'll have a Switch, he'll have a DVD player as well with the DVDs that he wants. He'll have his blanket and he'll have pillows, so he will be nice and settled. I'll also get a little fan for him to put in his box as well, so that if it gets too hot, he can use the fan if he wants to. And obviously he'll have his snacks and his drinks too. Then I make sure that I've got everything in the front seat that I need with me. So I'll have my snacks and I'll have my drinks, and then I have my box full of cleaning wipes and tissues and wet wipes and everything else that I need there as well. I then check that my son's car seat is secure in the car and he's strapped in very securely, and I move the front seat as far forward as I can so if anything was to happen, he's not going to hit his head on the front seat of the car. Then make sure that I've got my emergency kit with me, and everything that has to have batteries has got batteries, everything's up to date and together. And then finally, I also make sure that I've got all my documents in place, my breakdown cover, my insurance, I've got a pen, pencil, and I've got paper in case I need to write anything down. I've also got my emergency contact list if I need that too, and I also make sure I download the directions on my Google Maps. I download it offline, and as I'm talking, it might actually be a good idea to print them out as well, so if anything was to happen to my phone, I've got a print out of the directions as well, so I'm completely and utterly secure. Also let my mum and my dad know, and my ex-husband know, when I get there safely, so they know that I've arrived okay. So I know that I'm 40. And probably a lot of 40-year-old women that doesn't have any of this, but I do, and this is what makes me feel better. And if any of this can help you feel better when you drive, then that's even better. That's brilliant. And I will link everything down in the description box below, so if you want to buy any of this to have in your car, even on a day-to-day basis, I highly recommend it. I think it's important to be safe. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got a grocery haul coming up with everything that I'm taking with us food-wise to Butlins, a shopping haul, a pack with me, and then we're going to be in Butlins for you to see what we get up to. Again, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, or good evening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.